Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a really great weekend. I had an awesome weekend. I don't know if you guys know this, or some of you might. I'm in a sacred mystery school. I have a teacher that I have been working with for, I don't know, maybe like 16 years, and I've been in her mystery school for about 14, and she is my spiritual teacher, and she's amazing. And we just had this awesome meeting. It was like a mini meeting, like a bonus meeting, because we only meet once a year in October, but we have a bonus meeting. We had a bonus meeting, and it was all about the Divine Mother and generational stuff and like womb cleansing, and it was super powerful and super amazing. And so that's what I did this weekend. So drop it below. I'd love to hear what you did this weekend. And if you're watching this live, drop it live. And if you're watching replay, because I'm curious as to the timing of my lives, and and so if you're watching in a replay, do hashtag replay so I could see if the timing of this is right. So anyway, here comes Django squeezing in. Okay, so anyway, today I wanted to talk with you about empaths in relationships. And excuse me, we love being in relationships. I mean, it's just, we're just feelers and we love it, right? But what happens is that we are super feelers, right? And super absorbers. And so relationships can be tricky for us, whether it is an intimate relationship or if it's a friendship or relationships with family. But today I'm going to be specifically talking about intimate relationships with a partner. And so, one of the big things with empaths is that we have a tendency to get into codependent relationships. And when I was younger, I used to think that I had a fear of commitment. And what I actually, as I like uncovered and did work on myself, I was like, oh, because I was like, how can I have a fear of commitment? My parents have been married for like a bazillion years. And then I realized that it wasn't a fear of commitment. It was a fear of engulfment. Like, where do I end and where do you begin? And am I going to totally lose myself in, excuse me, this relationship? And so, and that's where codependency comes in. And so if we are a disempowered empath, or an empath and we don't realize that we are one yet, we could get enmeshed and have these codependent relationships and do a lot of rescuing behaviors, okay? Which is all about the drama triangle and being basically disempowered, right? So you're constantly overgiving, and you're people pleasing, and you're rescuing people when they don't need to be rescued, and so we don't want to fall into that trap. Okay. And so one of the things about being an empath is that we wear our hearts on our sleeves. Like, I did such, like, this past weekend, there was just a lot of deep healing. And because of that, I feel a little, I feel vulnerable. I feel raw after these meetings. And we're having a heat wave out here in Seattle, and after the class, Rob and I went out to the lake and met up with a couple of friends to like float in the lake, and I such an empath. And I was vulnerable, and I was feeling raw, and we had to swim all the way out there like on a floaty, and I just started crying. I just started crying because I was feeling all of my feels, and luckily I had my rock and my oak tree is what I call him, to kind of help guide me through it. And because we wear our hearts on our sleeves, we could oftentimes feel vulnerable, feel raw, and get deeply wounded. And so because of this, navigating relationships could be super challenging for us. The other thing is that we crave alone time. Most empaths are introverted. There are a minority of people that are extroverted empaths, and I know there's like some controversy about like you can only be an introvert or you can only be an extrovert, but quite honestly, I think I'm both. I actually think I'm an introverted. No, what do I think I am? I think I'm an extroverted introvert. Because all growing up, I was super quiet. You guys probably don't even believe it, but it is true. And I also love my alone time. I love doing things by myself. Like, it's awesome. So we crave alone time, okay? And we need it to recalibrate, okay? Because we're constantly picking up on other people's energy, and it gets exhausting, and then you feel overwhelmed or agitated or frustrated. And so that alone time is super necessary. And it's just like, it's all of these little like things. Like, we went to the lake and then we had dinner, and then one of my daughters wanted to watch Stranger Things, so I was like, I could do one episode of Stranger Things. And then when it was over, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into the bedroom and be by myself and watch crap television, because it's 90 Day Fiance and I love it, but I needed to be like in the dark, in the air conditioner, in my cave by myself, because I needed to recalibrate that energy. So I'd love to hear from you some ways that you recalibrate and how you enjoy your alone time. And this is why soul care is so, so important, right? Like, I don't want it to be another thing on your to-do list. We have to basically get all of our basic needs met. Get enough sleep, drink enough water, eat healthy foods, whatever, I can't even think of other healthy needs right now, but it's that. So in order to create these boundaries, do the soul care, that will help you become a more empowered empath. It will also help you set boundaries and avoid some of the pitfalls of being in or getting into a codependent relationship, right? So if you feel like you're an empath, drop it below and be like, how do I know, right? So this whole summer series is all about being an empath, and I'm trying to find it on my bookshelf. I can't find it right now, but I know it's here. The guru of being an empath is this woman named Judith Orloff, and she is a psychiatrist, and she's super badass, and she wrote a book called my gosh, I just said gosh too, which is really funny. It's like stream of consciousness. This is what happens after my mystery school weekends. Like, I'm in a totally different plane. The empath survival guide. Jesus. The empath survival guide by Judith Orloff. I swear this is like the Bible of being an empath. Like, when I read this book, I was like, did she write it about me? Like, I thought she was gonna be like, dear Nadia, here's the book for you. So anyway, go get that book. But so what she talks about in terms of relationships there are 3 different types of relationships that would balance out or be healthy for an empath. And one is and this is how she describes them, and I love it, the rock. Okay, this is that consistent, stable, grounded, dependable person. Okay, this type of person is awesome for an empath because they could handle the empath's intensity, because we're pretty intense and we're highly sensitive. So they could handle that. But they also have difficulty expressing their own feelings. So it's a good match because it balances out. The rock teaches the empath to like chill and be grounded. And then the empath also teaches the rock that it's okay and that it's safe to express feelings, right? And so it's a really good balance. And if you're in relationship with any of these, drop it below. I'd love to hear. Or like, and again, it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It could be your best friend. It could be a family member, you know. And so I would love to hear. So please put stuff in the comments because I want to see them. And I want to engage with you guys. The second type is the intellectual, okay? So this is the deep thinker. They are ruled and driven by analyzing things, by rational thought. They're like, you know, spreadsheets are their jam, so to speak. And they're also very super calm during conflict with, which doesn't usually happen with us, okay? And so they're super calm during conflict. And they also kind of have difficulty trusting their intuition, and generally aren't that playful or emotional. And they're good because, again, they balance out the empath, but they balance each other out because that intellect balances the feelings. I have a combo of, he's a rock and an intellect, and I like to call him my oak tree because he's just so grounding for me. And I'm like, oh my God, this feels good because I'm a tree hugger. I just am. And then the third is being in relationship with another empath. Okay. And this could be amazing because you get each other and you guys could go deep, 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 deep. And, you know, they're kind, they're supportive, they're passionate. They totally get the deep feels, right? And they also get the need for personal space, right? And so that being said, the emotional intensity of being in relationship with another empath could be a lot because you could get easily triggered by each other. And so I would love, again, to hear from you and hear if you're in relationship, or, you know, even if you look at your friendship pod, right? Like, do you have other empaths? Do you have rocks? Do you have intellects? Like, how do they show up in your life? So drop it below. I'd love to hear from you all. And I will see you on the flip side. That's it for now. Mwah. Thanks for watching. Bye.